Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Jeffrey Epstein Show. I'm your host, Bobbycapucci, and this is a morning update. Before we jump into today's article, just give you a quick rundown for what you can expect for the rest of the week. Tomorrow, the Netflix documentary Filthy Rich comes out, and after we watch it, myself, Jen, and Lisa, the two hosts and creators from the Prince and the Pervert podcast, will be collaborating to bring you a review of the documentary. So, of course, with Netflix, they only have 4 hours to lay out their story, so they can't add all of the players and everything that has occurred, etc., right? What they're going to do is give you a basic outline of what Jeffrey Epstein was doing, what Jeffrey Epstein was up to, and who was involved with him. And when I say a basic outline, I mean basic for us. We've followed this case. Everyone listening has dedicated hours of their life following this case. So there's going to be a lot of people who don't follow the case like we do, who might just be getting introduced to it. So the the Filthy Rich documentary is going to be a good entrance point for them into the case. Like if they found this podcast, right, they'd have to go back and listen to over 400 episodes to catch up, to get all the nuances and all the two-bit players, etc. Whereas a documentary like this Filthy Rich documentary, what it does, it opens the door for these folks to kind of get an idea of what's going on. So the Unsullied will now be sullied after they watch the Netflix documentary, and there's zero doubt in my mind that after they watch the documentary, people who are interested in this kind of thing are going to hit the internet in a flurry searching for more content. So that's why Jen and Lisa and myself have come up with the idea to collaborate and get out a nice comprehensive review for all of our listeners. So you can definitely look forward to that in the next day or two. Obviously, they're on Australian time, and I'm here in Las Vegas, so we're coordinating our times, etc., and we're going to have that product out and polished ASAP, folks. So definitely make sure you're looking out for that. Also, I have been toying around with some ideas for some t-shirts. So I'm going to have a prototype of a t-shirt within the next couple of days that I'll share with you folks. And then you can give me some feedback and let me know what you think about the idea with the t-shirt, the graphic, etc. And let me know if I'm on the right track and if it's something that you folks would be interested in picking up. Because I'll tell you what, I think that this shirt's going to be a big hit with you guys. It's a pretty funny concept, and I really think that you folks are going to dig it. So I'll have that prototype out in the next couple of days. Obviously, my priority is the Netflix documentary and making sure that we don't let anything fall through the cracks. Because, again, like I said, with only 4 hours, Netflix can only cover so much, right? So we're going to come in after that, and we have basically unlimited amount of time with our platforms and our podcasts. So we're going to come in, we're going to fill in the gaps, and we're going to make sure that the ship is steered in the right direction. Because you never know what sort of narrative is going to come out of one of these documentaries, right? I'm leaning towards the fact that the documentary is going to show the survivors in a good light, and it's not going to be a puff piece for Jeffrey Epstein's co-conspirators. It certainly seems like that's the direction it's going. So while I remain skeptical of everything until I actually see the work, I will say this. I don't think it's going to be some sort of puff piece or some sort of, Prince Andrew is kind of a nice guy, but he got caught. None of that. I think it's actually going to go for the jugular in a lot of spots. But of course, it can only cover so much in the 4 hours. So I am looking forward to it. This is going to be a big week. I know Jen and Lisa are fired up about it. And look, folks, all we can do is embrace the grind, right? Each and every day is a grind. I know for me it is. Every day is a new twist and a new turn in this case, and all we can do is buckle up and hold on for the ride. All right, folks, so today's article, I haven't talked about Michelle Licata too often here on the podcast, and I thought it was time to, bring her story to light. The Daily Beast has a new article out, and Michelle Licata was the first person that Julie K. Brown interviewed when she started her expose of Jeffrey Epstein. So I wanted to read this article about Michelle Licata, and it's going to go into a little bit about her appearance in the documentary. So this article is in the Daily Beast. The author is Marlo Stern. Headline: The woman who helped take down Jeffrey Epstein tells her horror story. And look, all of these young ladies, all of these girls who have come out and told their stories and have to relive it every time they tell it, and I just can't even imagine the suffering and the pain and the anxiety and the PTSD that they have went through all of these years, and they're still going through it. The fact of the matter is, this whole entire process of the estate paying out reparations to these ladies, it should be streamlined and it should be moving in a much faster manner. And there should be no sort of NDAs or anything like that. It should be a very straightforward process. Is there any doubt, folks? Come on, is there any doubt in anyone's mind that Jeffrey Epstein abused these girls? If you're out there and you doubt the fact, I'd love to hear from you. Shoot me an email. In fact, if you don't think Jeffrey Epstein was involved in all of this and you just think it's, there's nothing really there, I'd love to have you on the podcast for a chat. Send me an email. Michelle Licata was just a 16-year-old high school student when a friend passed her a note in class containing a proposition. If she gave an older man a massage, she could earn hundreds of dollars in cash. It was mere days before Christmas 2004, and Licata, who worked part-time at a supermarket in West Palm Beach, Florida, needed the money to purchase gifts for her family. So along she went. And again, how many times have we seen this play out? How many times has this been the MO? A girl from a home who's impoverished, doesn't have much money, doesn't have the safety net to fall back on that a lot of other people do, working part-time at a grocery store. Well, she gets the proposition, $200, you can come, give this guy a massage, everything will be good, it's easy money. So in her mind, Michelle Licata is saying probably, all right, yeah, I'll go get that $200, I get my family some Christmas presents, and I won't feel so bad about things. How bad could it be giving some guy a massage? And you gotta, when I was 16, I know that I made some pretty piss poor decisions, right? I didn't really know what was going on. I was naive to the world. And these girls weren't going into this thinking they're going over there to have sex with this man or to be abused by this man. They're going over there thinking they're giving him a massage and they're gonna clear $200 and they're gonna be able to have a good Christmas. Instead, not only did they get their Christmas snatched from them, they got the rest of their lives pretty much snatched from them by this sick bastard. Little did she know she'd be entering the mansion of Jeffrey Epstein, a then 51-year-old financier, pedophile, with some creepy friends in very high places, Donald Trump, Bill Clinton, and Harvey Weinstein among them. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. They all fall into that creepy category. And all of these people, all of these billionaires, all of these sick bastards that run around in so-called polite New York society creep me out. They all give me the creeps. In Jeffrey Epstein, Filthy Rich, a new 4-part docuseries premiering on Netflix May 27th, Licata is one of several Epstein survivors who share their horror stories of being molested by the late convicted pedophile. When she arrived, she says, she was escorted to a room where Epstein was lying face down on a massage table. And again, all of these girls describe the same exact situation, the same story. None of these girls knew each other previously to this. What, do they all just happen to concoct the same story? Or, I know this is crazy for some people to believe. Or how about this? How about they're just all telling the truth? I know it's hard for people like Dershowitz to believe, and I know it's hard for the prosecutors in Florida to believe. But how about we go off of that premise, huh? This isn't like one person came forward and it was a vendetta. Dozens and dozens and dozens of little girls were being molested by this guy, all with the same MO. And all of these girls came forward, only one of them gets in front of the grand jury? I don't know how anyone can look at this and not be outraged. He flipped over and was talking to me about the way that I looked. He was telling me how beautiful I was. I never thought I was that pretty. I never thought I was the pretty girl in high school. I had braces, and for somebody to be pointing the spotlight at me, it was like, okay, he's giving me compliments. And I never thought of myself that way, she says in the film. Again, she's a young girl. She doesn't know who she is yet. She has no life experiences, really. She has no idea, what sort of monsters there are in this world, right? At 16, you have a different view of things. She had no idea that she was in the den of one of the most horrible monsters of our generation. And then he kind of was like grabbing my hip and maneuvering it so he could look at me. He was telling me to take off my shirt and pants, she continues. He's like, you could get down into your underwear. You start thinking, okay, if I try to leave or be like, no, we're not going to do this, how would you leave? Like, is there a gun hidden somewhere that he was going to pull out? It's not like, look, this isn't consensual because someone goes into a room like this with Epstein and then goes through with it. These are little girls that are intimidated by this man, this powerful man in this big mansion. And these girls are coming from places of poverty. They walk into a mansion like this and they think that they're dealing with, somebody who's made it in life. The American dream, folks, take a look, Jeffrey Epstein. And then you walk into his house and it becomes the American nightmare. Licata felt she had no choice but to give in to his demands. She says Epstein began fondling her breasts and body. He appeared to be masturbating. Again, I need a bleach bath after reading all of this. And to be honest with you, I cannot wait until this case is over because the more of these articles I read, the more disturbing it becomes. And it's just so beyond the pale of gross what was occurring within Jeffrey Epstein's atmosphere. And I can't keep harping on it enough. The fact that it was allowed to continue for so long, so brazenly, right under everyone's nose, is just, I can't even describe the disgust. As a young girl, because he's an adult, you just do what someone asks you to do, she recalls. He just looked like a scary sicko. I just still have the vision of his face. And can you imagine this poor girl, Michelle Licata? How many nights did she close her eyes and see Jeffrey Epstein's leering, disgusting face? How many nights does she still close her eyes and see it? And yet, Berman and Maureen Comey and the rest of the inept SDNY has not done anything yet, has not moved in a way that even signals that justice is coming. I can't even tell you how disappointed I am in the Justice Department and the whole entire system as a whole. The teenager was paid $200 by Epstein. Licata, now 31, reported the incident to Palm Beach police in December of 2005 and would eventually be the first of eight survivors interviewed by journalist Julie K. Brown for the Miami Herald. The investigative piece, Perversion of Justice, won a number of awards and ultimately helped lead to Epstein's arrest on sex trafficking charges in July 2019, as well as the resignation of Trump's Secretary of Labor, Alex Acosta. Watch Licata tell her story in this exclusive clip from Jeffrey Epstein Filthy Rich. And when you go to the description box, you'll be able to follow the link, click on it, and you can see the link and see what Michelle had to say here. And kind of get a glimpse of what we have coming our way tomorrow, May 27th. And I'm pumped, folks. I'm pumped to watch this documentary. Again, because of the time changes, I'm going to be up rather late with my favorite Australians as we hammer away for the review and to get things moving in the right direction. And I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited about the content that's going to be created this week by not just myself, but other content creators. And I'm really excited to see this story get the interest that it deserves. At the end of the day, these girls, all of these girls, these survivors that you're going to hear in this documentary and that you've heard about previously, every last one of these ladies, every last one of them should already have had a payday. And I am usually so against that kind of thing. I am usually the first one to come out and say, this person's looking for a payday. This is a bunch of bullshit. In this case, even someone as skeptical as I am of claims like this for the most part, usually, I am 100% sold that these girls, these women, have been nothing but truthful for decades. I'm a follow the evidence guy. And the evidence, my friends, has led me to one destination. And that destination is, this is not a conspiracy theory. This is a massive cover-up. If you'd like to contact me, you can do that at bobbycapucci@protonmail.com. That's BOBBYCAPUCCI@protonmail.com. You can find me on Twitter as well at BOBBY_CAPUCCI. If you'd like to help the podcast out, you can follow the links inside of the description box, and you can use Patreon or GoFundMe, however you'd like. All right, folks, we'll be back later on tonight with the Daily Drop, and get ready for a big week ahead.